Hello folks, my name is Mark. This is UCD Videos. How you guys doing? I have not made a video on this channel in quite some time, but I finally found something that I want to share with you all because I have figured out the mystery of the Godzilla vs. Jesus playset. So a little bit of background to this. Back in 2015, I made a blog post to my little blog that nobody reads called Meet Monkey's House of Weirdness, and I made a post about this bootleg toy that I found, a Godzilla vs. Jesus action playset. And I found this toy, I think in 1998, at a toy company in Hollywood called the Wound and Wound Toy Company, which has long gone out of business. It's gone, but there still is a website for it, even though half of the images there on the website are missing. But still, kind of cool, you know. It had lots of imported vinyls and things like that, you know, Godzilla vinyls and that kind of thing. And I found this little bootleg toy and took a picture of it and put that on my blog. And it got, you know, some traffic for a no-name blog like I had. And then a year later, I put it up on Reddit in 2016 and got a lot of attention for, you know, a Reddit post. Lots of people responding, stuff like that. And over the years, I've seen that this picture has made the rounds kind of all over the place. It's in a lot of different forums, and I see it on Reddit posts popping up here and there. I even saw a guy make a video about it, wondering where these things came from. The video was all in Spanish, so I only kind of understood about 30% of it. But still, you know, you kind of see it's like, okay, we sparked off a mystery here. And I'm even seeing now people making their own homages to this mystery playset. If you go on eBay right now, you'll see some that are kind of bootlegs of a bootleg. They're things that people have made themselves. They've made their own Godzilla vs. Jesus action playsets. And I am here to tell you that I have tracked down the mysterious creator of the Godzilla vs. Jesus playset. His name is Mark Richardson. And he, believe it or not, is the prop master originally for the Power Rangers. So if you were a fan of the Power Rangers back in the day, he was a prop master. He worked on several seasons of that. He's also worked on a lot of movies. Like he worked on the Power Rangers movie and a couple of other things. And so yeah, he's still out there working in the industry. And he also does conventions where he sells replicas of props that he's made. And also these neat little bootleg toys like this. You know, these things are kind of funny. So I've recently run into him a couple of times at recent cons, and I've picked up a couple of more examples of the Godzilla vs. Jesus playset. So this is not the one that I originally made the blog post on years and years ago. That example is actually the property of my good friend Raf Inshoma, who has his own YouTube channel, and you should all go check him out. But I have a couple of more examples so you can kind of see. Let's take a look at them. This is the big one that I've got, Godzilla vs. Jesus. Let's take a quick look at the card. You can kind of see it's got this sort of thing here. Godzilla, King of the Monsters vs. Jesus, King of the Jews action playset. This battle's biblical. And you can kind of see what comes with it. We've got a sort of Jesus cake topper looking thing here. You know, you can see the little heart on his hand there, which is like the stigmata or whatever. You can see the little blood on his hand. It's like the stigmata. We have I believe this is an articulated Godzilla 2000 toy here. I don't know if that in and of itself is a legit toy or if that's like a bootleg or what. We'll open it up here in a second. And we have some examples of military, you know, stuff going on here. We got a truck, we got a helicopter, we got a stealth bomber, which is tan for some reason, and so even some little army men kind of hanging out back here. And then in the back of the card, you can see here, it's Godzilla. This is Godzilla from Godzilla -1. Sorry about the glare on the camera with Jesus, and it says, "Come at me, bro, Matthew 11:28." So that's kind of cool. Let's set this back up over here. And then this is another example that I got of it. This one is a little bit more pared down. It just has Godzilla versus Jesus. This battle's biblical. And it just has a figure. This actually looks like a figure of the 1954 Goji. If I know my Godzilla's right, you can kind of see. And then another cake topper, which is the same sort of cake topper as Jesus. Nothing on the back of this one. So I think we'll leave this one in the package and I want to open up the big example and take a quick look at everything on the inside. I have every intention of putting this back in the package and restapling it afterwards, so I'm going to be very, very careful about opening that because I don't want to tear it. So let's just sort of get a little pair of scissors, kind of bend back these staples here a little bit, very, very carefully. Don't want to ruin nothing. Take that out. I will be restapling this. In fact, maybe I'll just leave. Let's see, can I open this with only one staple? I could, but that might tear it. So let's try to take these off. Because, you know, maybe I might eBay one of these or something. Because, you know, I see there's bootlegs of this bootleg up on eBay. And I think maybe Mr. Richardson needs some prime examples. Oh, I didn't have to do that. Haha. There is actually a little thing at the bottom. I could have just opened it up and kept that mint in package. Oh well. Live and learn, right, folks? Okay. Probably could have. I'll have to reattach the header there. So, let's see. Kind of comes with this background. We got a Godzilla. We got a Jesus figure. Can I take these off of here without cutting this? I don't know. I might have to reattach that with some. I might have to find some red twist ties here or something, just so that I can keep it, you know, close to the original as possible. But let's cut these off of here. So these are just put on with some little tie things. Let's see if we can get that off of there without damaging it too much. There we go. And of course we got to take Jesus off, because, you know, how are they going to duke it out if they're both stuck on the card there? Can I get that off? Damn, that's on there. Okay. There we go. Okay, there's the back of the card. Set that back here. So let's take a look at the Jesus figure here. It looks like it's just a kind of a little cake topper kind of thing. See if we can get that to focus. There we go. Yeah, just sort of like the kind of thing that you would find in any kind of little art store or liquor store or something like that. And, you know, I mean, it's plastic. And, yeah, okay, not bad. Let's take a look at the Godzilla figure. Is it? Yeah, it actually is articulated. Okay, so I can move its arms and legs up and down. And, yeah. Does the tail move? Tail does not move. Head does not move. So, all we've got are arms, legs. But, yeah, this is definitely a Godzilla 2000 figure here. Let's get that to focus in. Can't really see this over the camera, but the spines actually have a very kind of subtle purple tint to it. Through the viewfinder, at least, it doesn't really look that good, but so yeah. And the actual sculpt on it is pretty okay. I think this is a bootleg of like a high grade, like Bandai high grade kind of thing. Let's take a look at some of the army vehicles. We've got a helicopter that has big tires for some reason. I guess if you want to race your helicopter on the highway. We've got a tan stealth bomber, which is like, alright, I mean, you know, okay. In case you're flying the stealth bomber in the desert. We have a camo tank. The tank moves around. It's, yeah, alright, kind of flimsy. It's got wheels on it, but, you know, not too bad. We've got a truck, or it just says truck. Truck military on it, okay. Yeah, right? That's a truck. And we got some little army men in here. Alright, let's open up the army men, see what we got in there. Pretty cool. They're like little standard army guys. Try to get those to focus a little bit better. Little tiny dudes, you know. They're like really small though. But I guess that makes sense because, you know, if you're going to put them up next to Godzilla, they got to be like small enough for him to like, you know, step on or whatnot. Come on, focus, you piece of garbage. Focus! Anyway. So, what I don't get here is that is Jesus supposed to be like Godzilla sized? I guess he's still shorter a little bit, so If Godzilla is like 300 feet tall, then I guess Jesus is like 280 or something like that. I don't know. I guess using his godlike powers, he just grew to Godzilla's size so that they can duke it out or whatever. Like, he's using his super, like, godlike carpenter powers to, like, I don't know, build a billy club and smack Godzilla in the head with it or something. I really think that if there was an actual fight, it wouldn't last long, because there would just be in the water, and Jesus would be walking on top and Godzilla would be underneath, and then he would just turn the ocean into wine, and Godzilla would get drunk and pass out. That's how I kind of think the fight would go. But still, kind of cool, you know? Can't complain. The Godzilla toy is high quality, at least. And then, of course, you have this background here, which shows like a ruined city or whatever. Kind of cool there. And then we've got this little sort of challenge thing. I'm halfway tempted to like put this up on my wall. So anyway, folks, that is the unboxing of the Godzilla vs. Jesus action playset. So anyway, folks, you'll find several bootlegs of this bootleg up on eBay right now. Please remember that the authentic ones are marked with Forked Tongue Toys. Those are the real ones. You see the little logo right there, Forked Tongue Toys. If it doesn't say Forked Tongue Toys on it, it's not the real thing. As you can see right here as well, Forked Tongue Toys. So yeah, pretty nifty, and I'm kind of happy to see that finally, after all these years, the mystery has been solved. Mark Richardson is a great guy. I spent a couple of minutes talking to him at the last con. If you see him around, if you go to a convention and you see him, please buy stuff from him. And I think that's all we got. Adios, folks.